Hello, my name is Mike Clark. My company is dedicated to doing the best to protect our youth. One way to do this is to know your child's genetic makeup. Why? For information. Yes, information. Knowing the genetic mutations that are in your child's genes can help you prepare him or her for a variety of health concerns. It gives you the knowledge to properly defend and protect your child. The genetic health profile for kids and young adults, should all children have a genetic health profile? We believe yes. Why? Number one, for protection. Number two, for better diagnosis. Three, for better treatment outcomes. These are my grandkids. My grandkids, of course, I want to make sure they're protected. I want to make sure if they encounter any health conditions that they're going to get the best treatment and the best outcome. And I have had both of these young men tested, and I know a lot about them and things that might happen in the future. Now, the other alternative is, we know that there's a large number of children and adolescents out there who are now taking psychiatric drugs in the United States. This slide, for example, shows that from 0 to 17 years of age, these are kids, over 7 million are now taking psychiatric drugs. Another 3.6 million are taking ADHD drugs. Another 2 million plus are taking antidepressants, antipsychotics. All psychotic drugs, psychiatric drugs, even for kids as young as 0 to 5 years of age, there's over 500,000 that are taking more drugs. Now, is drugs the answer? We do not think so. This little genetic test that I'm showing you here on this next slide, this is an example of a child that's 6 months old. Now, what does it tell us? Fortunately for this child, he does not seem to have any problem with foods that contain histamines, and sometimes that can be an issue. They can have what are called double mutations, or a mutation from both parents. Now, the FUT2 gene on this particular slide, what does that tell us? You could give this child probiotics pretty much all day long and it won't help him too much. Why? Because of this genetic mutation, he really needs to also take prebiotics. Now, these can be in forms of food, of course. Artichokes, avocados, these are all good sources of prebiotics. The real key here is that he needs prebiotics and probiotics to protect his gut. The other issue that we see here from just this one part of this one test is he also has a genetic mutation in that HLA-DQA2 gene. Now, that's a big name, but what it really means is that he probably is going to have gluten sensitivity. So therefore, we would want to start at a very young age to teach him proper eating habits and to avoid foods that consist of gluten particularly. Now, you should know your child's genetic risk. Again, your child's genetic health profile can provide information about his or her potential risks, for example, from vaccinations. Now, why is that true? Well, vaccinations can cause inflammation. If a child has high risk for inflammation, aggressive turns on switches and turn off switches, he may be at higher risk than another child. I do have some pediatrician friends of mine that they are requiring a genetic test profile before they will prescribe vaccinations. Now, other reasons that taking a genetic health profile, they can offer us early potential risks for ADD, ADHD, autoimmunity, autism, anxiety, depression, low energy, sleep issues. All these things can be influenced and affected by your genetic mutations. Knowing about them at an early age will give you more information to better care and protect your child. Now, some other benefits from knowing about a child's genetic profile is maybe this child needs a gluten-free diet, just like the young man that we just looked at. We know that maybe some children need to have prebiotics added to probiotics, again, like the young man we just looked at. A low-inflammatory diet. If I looked at some of the other SNPs that this young man had from his genetic profile, you would find that he had very aggressive inflammation on switches, and he had very poor or broken off switches. It also allows you to give more personalized recommendations for natural vitamins and natural foods. So the question is, what is hidden in your puzzle, as we call the genetic profile sometimes? Are there any time bombs in there waiting to maybe affect your child in the future or even now? We know that one of the most severe issues is the autism. Approximately 1 in 37 children now are being diagnosed with autism. Over a 277% increase. So you want to know more? If you do, please go to my website, seekingperfecthealth.com, or go to www.danpursermd.com. He's a medical doctor out of Utah doing great work in the area of genetic profiling for children. And order your child's genetic test profile as soon as you feel that you're comfortable with enough knowledge to know the benefits. One thing I'd like to stress as we end here today, privacy is guaranteed by the lab we use. That's very important because we know that privacy is a primary issue in the healthcare industry, and I know of no other company, not saying there aren't any, but I know of no other company that protects your privacy.